Yo, what is up, Kings? I hope all is well. I don't usually talk a lot about sports on this channel, but every now and again, sports kind of intersects with politics. And at the end of the day, this channel, for me, is meant to be popular culture commentary, whether that's politics, whether that's sports, whatever the case may be. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is the New England Patriots coaching situation, the backlash, and kind of my thoughts on that. But before I delve straight into that and unload, I used to be a huge sports fan. Okay, and I still do watch sports occasionally. Obviously, I'm a University of Iowa fan. But I've said this before when I don't remember which video exactly it was, but whatever video it was, I have said on multiple occasions that Jay Dyer opened my eyes to the fact, especially for men, and masculinity, that sports is really kind of the penultimate distraction for men and masculinity. If you think about it from like a sports perspective, yes, or playing sports perspective, yes, there are a lot of benefits to playing sports, but most people that play sports, 99.99999%, will not only not play college or professionally, but they won't even play college. So there's this innumerate amount of time and energy that is put into something that long term you're really not going to be able to utilize in your adult life. Now, again, there are some benefits such as, learning teamwork, learning perseverance, dedication, hard work, going over barriers and, seeing improvement where, you started here, you got to here. And there is something to be said about that. And that is fair enough, okay? But if you really think about it, a lot of that time could have been put towards something more useful and more in line with what your future potential really is. And quite frankly, you can gain a lot of the positives from playing sports through, just working out or, lifting and training or whatever the case may be. But, my perspective, it's kind of hard for me to definitively say one way or the other because I did play sports and I do think at a very high level. I played it collegiately. High school, I played at a very high level. I was on varsity at a very big high school from my sophomore year onward, and as a freshman for water polo. And there are a lot of benefits that I see for myself personally, but I do also realize that had I put that same amount of time towards a more realistic profession, who knows where I would be now. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to time. How much time are you putting into something? So that's just food for thought. Now, from the fan perspective, it is almost completely and utterly a waste of time. It's a distraction. And I've seen plenty of videos. Most recently, I saw a video of a guy posting on X these like soccer, aka football fans in Europe, and just how crazy they go in the stands. They just go absolutely insane. And it is kind of an environment where they can allow their masculinity to come out. And, on one side, I fully understand that in the West, we live in a very gynocentric society where there's not really a ton of spaces for masculinity to naturally take shape. There's kind of, and instead, we kind of have these artificial environments that don't really mean a lot, where you can put your masculinity into that don't really affect the society at large. I look at, not only from a fan perspective, but I look at some of these guys that play professional sports, and, you look at how athletically gifted they are, and you can't help but think, especially when you're awakened to kind of the distraction, you can't help but think to yourself, holy shit, in previous points in history, these guys would have been, the top warrior in their tribe or army or whatever the case may be. And instead, while they're still successful from a monetary perspective, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that transcendent. It's really not that beneficiary. It's a distraction, and literally, from conservative channels, Clay Travis, I remember listening to him where he would say that the reason why all these sports were having their numbers go down is because sports is supposed to be the dessert to the 3-course meal. You have your main entree, you might have your vegetables that you have to eat, but your dessert you want to savor and enjoy. Sports is kind of this thing that people want to unplug and check out and not have to worry about anything difficult. And so I think that is a perfect encapsulation of, realistically, the distraction that is sports. So personally, I don't watch it very much anymore. I do every now and again watch highlights that are super quick, but I will not spend I won't even spend an hour watching sports any longer. Some of my buddies will fucking denote 3+ hours to a football game, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like that's a lot of time, and you're doing it every single weekend. But of course, it's the fullness of it. It's the fandom. It's the hanging out with friends. It's the getting drunk. And again, this is the distraction that is sports. So and again, if men across society were to put that masculinity into something that actually mattered, we might actually be able to turn the West around fairly quickly. But not only do you have lies and corruption, but you also have distraction. And that's the thing as a man that you really, really, really need to pay attention to, is distraction. So anyways, I'm going to stop there. Maybe I'll do a separate video on it. The main thing with all that said that I wanted to discuss is the head coach being fired after 1 year, an African-American black coach for the New England Patriots. If you're not aware, the coach that was the head coach before was, of course, Bill Belichick for a long time. And when Bill Belichick was the coach, the quintessential conversation was always, is the Patriots' success, is it more so Bill Belichick or is it more so Tom Brady? If Bill Belichick wasn't there, could Tom Brady be successful? If Tom Brady wasn't there, could Bill Belichick be successful? And obviously, yes, coaching's important, but any transcendent player on the field is more impactful to the success of the team. And obviously, we saw that when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I say that to say that I think New England, the organization, probably was hesitant and potentially even negative in their viewing of Bill Belichick once Tom Brady left. Now, they did actually give him a decent amount of time, but his first mistake was missing on their first quarterback that they drafted after Tom Brady, former Alabama quarterback, I believe. I'm blanking on his name right now. Hopefully it'll come to me later. Mac Jones was the name. And then most recently they drafted Drake May from North Carolina. And so anyways, if you're not aware, the NFL has, and this has been going on for a while. This is not like some new woke agenda. Fuck, I hate that term. I think it's so cringe, but it's been so worn out. But going back to the New England Patriots and I got sidetracked there for a second, and their hire, the DEI type stuff in the NFL has been going on for a long time. I was watching a video, I think it goes back to like the early 2000s. Okay, so if you're not aware, in the NFL, they made it mandatory, I believe, for every organization to bring in a certain amount of minority coaching candidates for, I don't know if it's every coaching position or if it's the head coaching position solely. And so oftentimes when coaching positions come open, there will be like this huge waste of money, time, energy, going through going through the process just for the sake of going through the process when they know who they want to hire in interviewing these, black head coaching candidates. And it really is a tremendous waste of time. So either way, the Patriots, I think, wanted to placate, and they hired this guy named Jared Mayo, who was on the coaching staff, and he actually did play for the Patriots from 2008 to 2015. And this guy, in his sole season, had numerous ridiculous statements that he made that people had no idea what the fuck he was even talking about. I think there was one question. Maybe I can find it real quick and just play it. So here we go. I'm actually pulling this from Matt Walsh's channel. I never watch his stuff nowadays. I think he's milquetoast conservatism, but he does have the clip lined up. So here we go.
Let's watch that again.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is,
what the fuck?
Like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have.
Okay, so that was complete babble. Nobody had any idea what the fuck he was saying. Make it hot. I mean, he didn't even elaborate on the question. He said that we have to, not pay attention to the problem, but we do also have to pay attention to the problem so we can fix the problem. The only somewhat coherent thing that he said is that he sees race or he sees color, which everybody does. Anybody who says they don't see color is a fucking liar. And you should immediately be skeptical of whatever they say after that. But this guy has been a train wreck. He was fired. And recently, they hired former Tennessee Titans coach who went to a Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel, he may have even played for the Patriots before, but he's had success as a player. He's had success as a coach, and is well respected across the league. But of course, yes, I do believe he played for the New England Patriots. He played for them from 2001 to 2008. And let's see what his head coaching record is. He played... Looks like he played... Fuck, it's not showing. He was 6'4". He went to Ohio State. Linebacker. That makes sense. So as a head coach, he has a record of 54-45. With his best seasons being in 2020 and 2021, in which he went 11-5 and they lost in the AFC wildcard game to the Ravens, and 12-5 when they lost to the Bengals in the AFC divisional game. And then, of course, they lost in the AFC Championship game in 2019, although they went 9-7 that year. I thought that he made it to a Super Bowl. I guess I'm wrong about that. So I renege that. Okay, I disregard. So the thing is, guys, is that everything in America in the West is about race, and I kind of get tired of conservatives trying to downplay it as if, race is not a thing, and these liberals who talk about race are crazy for doing so. No. We're the ones that are crazy for downplaying it and not supporting our own groups. This is why they're able to do this type of shit, because there's no group or entity that serves the interests of white Americans, okay? When it comes to blacks in America or Asians in America or Jewish people in America, not every single one of them is vehemently supporters of whatever racial organization that they happen to be, okay? But they still do benefit from the efforts of the racial organization that they happen to be. And you see it right here. I mean, this former head coach who was not successful, had a terrible year, is directly benefiting from whatever efforts BLM have made and put into the zeitgeist for people to react to and respond to and to actually be a thing. And this is why whites in America are the only group that are completely able to be categorized and pushed back against, even when they are totally qualified for a given position. People are able to critique it without regard and just completely go for it. Now, they might have some pushback here and there from the Matt Walshes of the world who say, America is a meritocracy, and which, what, for the most part, I agree. And I'm not against meritocracies, okay? But I also do think that when it comes to a nation and groups within a nation, everybody defends their group. Okay, human beings are very tribal. And number two, a nation has more things to think about other than pure capitalism or pure meritocracies, okay? I used to be somebody who believed purely in meritocracies, and I still do for the most part, but I also think that there is something to be said about supporting your citizens above anything else, because people can use meritocracies to shoo in things like H-1B visas. Now, I don't want to make this whole video about that, but I digress. Now, for what it's worth, in the NFL and any professional sports, these organizations directly benefit from winning. They make more money when they win games, okay? Because there's more fan support, there's more engagement, so on and so on. They don't care about race, all these sports networks have completely become like secondhand BET channels, where all they do, they're basically one big black advocacy channel. It is absolutely a thing where they will, they've already done it. Stephen A. Smith has come out saying that this is a bullshit thing, that he should have had a longer leash, and, they should have given him more time, and this and that. Guys, at the end of the day, these organizations want to win, and whoever they believe will give them the best chance to win, that's who they're going with. Okay? I played sports at a high level. I know that every coach I have had, whether right or wrong, in their assessment of who's the best, they are going to play whoever they think gives them the best chance to win. I just saw a recent interview, and I'm going to wrap it up here, from former U.S. soccer left back DeMarcus Beasley. And he detailed how he left a European team to go play in La Liga Mexico, or whatever it's called, Liga MX, I believe it's called. And his coach asked him, why don't you think you were getting regular starting minutes, or regular starting time? And DeMarcus Beasley gave him his answer. I thought I trained well. I thought I was doing well. Whatever I don't know why he didn't play me, but he didn't play me as much as he should have. And the coach said, DeMarcus, 99.99999% of the time, any given coach is going to, specifically for matches that matter, because in soccer there's games that have more importance than others, kind of like the NFL with preseason games. We're not talking about those. But 99.99999% of games that matter, a coach is going to play who they thinks gives them the best chance to win that game. And if he doesn't view you as the best, then you're not going to play. Now, they might be wrong in their assessment of who that is, but still the motivation is to play who they think is the best. And it's the same from the top of the organization. And what always makes me laugh, so these owners are going to hire whatever coaches they believe gives them the best opportunity to win. It always makes me laugh when these leftist goofballs say that there was racism, or there was bias involved in a hiring or a firing. You're kind of critiquing your own worldview, because if you think most of these owners are conservatives, you're sadly mistaken. Most of these owners, number one, care about themselves first and foremost and their pocketbooks. But number two, most of them are liberals. Okay. And if you don't think that they are infected by the same mind virus that you are, you're mistaken. So you're critiquing your own self, because most of these organizations are liberal. So it's just a non sequitur. It's a faulty premise based off of faulty information. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment. You guys know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts are feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. I love you, King. See you guys next time. Christ is King. Peace.